Welcome to God Bless Freemasonry, yet again. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day, fantastic evening, however it goes for you, whichever time you're in, time you watch this. Just enjoy your moment. Because life is about the here and now. While you can also go ahead and prepare for your future, you want to be the best that you can be. Now I've asked a few of my brothers, and I've posted online what you think of the leather pants and my death robe. And should I wear this robe that looks like the Grim Reaper for doing some of these Masonic videos for God Bless Freemasonry? And some of you are like, definitely yes. So I am. Now, before I go any further, we are talking about Master Mason. And I will actually probably end up having to do a part 2. I'm doing this while the two oldest are in the living room and they're watching a movie. And not one that I've been in. They should be. They could be. But the others have gone to get another TV for this new bed that, you know, the TV's in the actual bed frame and everything, lifts up out of the floor, the killer. Love it. So, while we are covering, get my little death robe going on here, looking like the Grim Reaper. Let's feed into your stereotypes. I got this, and it is inside that, you know, sheet of plastic. I can take it out. I'm not going to, because it means a lot to me. This is the certificate that I got when I became a Master Mason in California. Now, this was issued to me, and I've given you my dates, but the 21st of July, 2015. And it's signed by the Grand Secretary as well as the Grand Master. It's to me for becoming a Master Mason in California for Freemasonry. Now I keep all my stuff in a nice little folder, and then I have my briefcase here, and I keep a lot of my books, and I'll show you. Oh, that's upstairs. What I ended up putting the candidate's guide and everything else in. But this is your Master Mason candidate's guide, specifically for me and my brothers in California. Though, like I've said, some of the wording might be a little different depending on what state you're in throughout the United States. I'm sure it might be a little different. And then also, depending on where you are throughout the world, and as we've come to learn, Masonry is not in every spot on this planet, though it should be. So while this may end up turning out to be, you know, multiples, because this is a pretty lengthy one here, let's get started, shall we? Now with this, that'll complete what you learn as a Mason, a Freemason, specifically for California. But you can go back, watch the Fellowcraft, and even further, the Entered Apprentice. Now I started doing the Entered Apprentice in clips, you know, on my phone. So there's like part 5, I think, in the end or something. When really I should have done them as a live video, so it's just one shot. Although, depending on when they get back, I may have to do 2 videos instead. And that's totally cool. You know, I just want to be respectful and not be like, hey, I'm doing a video. You know what I mean? So, without further ado, while I'm standing here in my Grim Reaper robe, because it's a whole lot warmer, and I got my nice little tassels. Now, when it comes to fellowcraft, your second degree of Freemasonry, I don't want to say most, but I will say in the line of there's a lot of brothers out there that feel as though your fellowcraft was the most rewarding for them. The funnest, however you'd like to put it. People really tend to lean towards fellowcraft and what you learn, which is the previous video set here for your candidate's guide. Learning what you learn as a Freemason, even to those of you who are not or have no intentions of becoming a Freemason, you can still learn what we do and you can eliminate your discrimination, because I, as a Freemason, am saying enough is enough. God bless Freemasonry. You want to learn? You're gonna learn. Sit down and watch this. Thank you. To me, when I was becoming a Mason, every little detail that I've gone through has just been extremely rewarding. I can't even comprehend how to put it into words, how much you learn about yourself. More so than anything else. That's what it's about. But this, as you can see with the trowel, now I've already done a little almost poetic piece on the Tao of the trowel. The trowel's Tao. That's the great way of the trowel. Okay? I think becoming a Master Mason, to me, got me the giddiest. I actually went in there while receiving my Master Mason, you know, being raised and everything like that, right? I was so excited and so giddy. I was so happy. From the moment they started speaking, I was about to jump out of my skin. I was so excited to finally become a Master Mason. To me, just like every other Freemason that has Freemasonry within their heart, because there's a difference, but every one of us that has Freemasonry in our hearts, becoming a Master Mason is very, very special, as they all are. But you're finally entitled to all the rights and the privileges and everything that come along with it, that come along with being a Mason. You learn more about yourself as you go, not just everything else, but more about yourself. Being a Freemason is about being better than you were the day before. Not better than anyone else, just better than you were the day before. I'll give you an example, because I always learn from the trowel, and I always learn from all the things that I learn, but being a Master Mason makes me want to conduct myself a little better, because I was still wet behind the ears, so to speak, while I was even a fellow craft. I guess I can't really stop it there and say just fellow, because there was that thing, you know, the fellows. But anyway, it makes me want to be a better person. And the example I'll give is, I did one, enough is enough. Dude, it bothers me, you know, I'm kind of fed up with it. I am saying enough is enough. You want to discriminate against me, I'm going to keep showing you what we do. It makes me just even more proud when I see all the slams and everything. It makes me proud because you people are ignorant. And that's not a slam. I'm sure you're going to take it as one. In the wise words of Lemmy, and I'll put them on my own, and my own spin of it all. You know, if you're looking to be offended, you should be. And congratulations for trying as hard as you can. But I think really, like I had said in the video, enough is enough. It's about, to those people, just ruffling some feathers, getting certain people to acknowledge you. It's all about views. For all of us anyway, but especially in that moment. Enough is enough, dude. So, with this here, you'll know what we learn, even when we're then able, as Master Masons, allowed to have a ring, or a pin, whatever you're wearing. I've got a pin that's back, I think it's in California. I've got a few. I'll be wearing those at some point here soon. So, I do wear my ring every day. I've heard a lot about how people want to not acknowledge that they're Masons. Well, for whatever reason, if you don't want to acknowledge that you've become a Freemason, that's all up to you. You're free to live your life however you see fit. We all are. But I think if you're a Mason, in your heart, you'll be proud of what you're learning and who you are amongst. And you would then in turn be proud of wearing a piece of jewelry, if that's what you like to do. Or, pin, whatever. You'll be proud to display the things that you're proud of and that you've worked hard for. I worked hard to become a Master Mason. I worked hard to do this. I worked hard to pull together all kinds of content for this series that I've barely just begun. And we're, over 160 videos so far? Something like that, right? Or at least I've got over 160 or something. Whatever. So, the trowel. I've enlightened you to what that is in Freemasonry, what it means, before. Flip back and watch that video. Watch all of them. And thank you for slamming me and my brothers and just trying to ruffle our feathers and get people like me with a sense of platform that's proud to acknowledge I'm a Mason. Thank you for your attacks, slams, pretending to be asking a question when you're just slamming people. It makes me proud to be a Mason. It makes me want to go further in Freemasonry through the appendant bodies and so on, like becoming a Shriner so that I can work with the children in the children's hospitals and be the Easter Bunny for the children. If I fell prey to your crap, if I succumb to your crap, your slams, I'd just dodge out of it. And I'd go into hiding. And that's not who I am. Because I'm proud of everything I'm learning. And when it comes to being a better person, maybe you should be proud of what you're learning too. If it makes you better than you were the day before, it doesn't matter if it's Freemasonry, if it's Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam. It really doesn't matter to me. If you're becoming better than you were the day before, I think you should continue on your path. Even if it's something I personally am not, you go ahead with your bad self. Don't let anyone stand in your way. Discrimination is for the ignorant and for the childlike. Because they don't want to know better. They just want the attention that they can muster up to go along with it. So while I stand here in my Grim Reaper robe, allow me to read you. And I'm sure this is going to have to be like part 1, part 2, because of the length of time and, you know, the kids coming back and everything. And so, because they only went to the store. But I'm like, ooh, give me a minute. Let me start. I showed you the certificate that I got when I became a Master Mason. Do you know how proud I am of that? And I keep it in there, so I took it out of the frame when my relationship ended, and I could just take it with me. I want to take it with me wherever I go in life, because I'm proud. I worked hard to become a Master Mason and get that certificate and the right to wear a ring. Now, introduction. Congratulations, brother, on your preferment and upon your joining the ranks of Master Mason the world over. The 3rd degree of Master Mason is the crown jewel of the ancient craft Blue Lodge. It really is. It is the culmination of all that has been taught and revealed to you, the candidate, and the 2 preceding degrees. And it is. Let me edge this back a little. There. You can kind of see the cupboard up here too. It's on the counter. I've got the phone on the cradle. Hope you don't mind. But at least I'm not standing outside shaking like I was. As you began your Masonic journey, you were initiated into a new and unique philosophical life via the Entered Apprentice degree. After working to subdue your passions and learning silence and obedience and demonstrating your proficiency, you were passed to the degree of Fellowcraft. After having symbolically mastered the intellectual and philosophical arts and sciences and crossing the threshold from the outer to inner, from the material to the intellectual and spiritual, you were considered by your brethren ready to be raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason. Regardless of your pace through the degrees of Masonry, I mean, some people, you could take a year, a couple of years, whatever you want, dude. I mean, it's all on you. We are a fraternity, but, you know, you're not going to get docked if you want to take an extra year or something. Life has this, that, and the other going on. Maybe it takes you a little longer. So what, dude? Some more to be. Run it up. You just work at your own pace. You'll get there. Now, you should continually review your personal progress and take appropriate and positive action to improve yourself in Masonry. You should never be satisfied with simply taking the 3 degrees and then considering yourself to be a whole and complete Master Mason. Because really, we're all entered apprentice in the end, up until we go to heaven. And you're going to learn every day. Every day you can learn something new. And when it comes to being a Mason, every day you can learn new things that you can apply to yourself to be better than you were the day before. Both operative and speculative Masonry are active, not passive activities. Just as the master stonemasons of old continually searched for improved designs to put on their trestle boards, which resulted in the erection of some of the most beautiful buildings in the history of the world, so also must we, as speculative Masons, continually look for ways in our daily lives where we can positively apply the lessons taught us within Masonry and seek always to add to our knowledge of the craft. So if you're a true Master Mason in your heart, you don't just want to stop there. You want to learn all you can. You want to be the best you can be, because it really is important to you. Now, raised. Okay? Ooh. This keeps you so much warmer. Dude, if you've ever wanted to know if it's worth getting a black velvet robe and walking around like the Grim Reaper, I'm an LA boy. I like the heat, and I'm in upstate New York, and I love this thing. You combine that with the leather pants and the thermals underneath those, and I'm pretty alright, dude. Anyway, raised. A candidate, upon receiving the 3rd degree of Masonry, is said to have been raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason. The term raised alludes to the candidate's experience of being physically lifted during the impressive ceremonies of the 2nd section of the degree, when he took part in the representation of a Masonic tragedy, which traditions informs us took place when the temple was nearing completion. And that's King Solomon's temple, and that's with Hiram Abiff. You'll learn more about Hiram. And his Abiff. God bless Masonry, dude. Symbolism of the 3rd degree. Again, as in the previous degrees, the candidate enters a lodge of Master Masons in darkness. And while he has not witnessed the light of this degree before, the 2 preceding degrees have somewhat prepared him for the final ceremony to join his brothers as a fully qualified Master Mason. Can you get a sense of how special this is? After the ritual is in the, the first section, which now seems quite familiar, the candidate is poised to experience and participate in the ceremonial. Oops, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. It's central, not ceremonial. I'm not sure why I'm reading that. Mystery of our Masonic order. In the 2nd section, the lodge room becomes a representation of the Sanctum Sanctorum, or Holy of Holies, deep within King Solomon's temple in Jerusalem, traditionally the meeting place of Master Masons, and where our Grand Master Hiram Abiff repaired daily to inspect the work, pray for guidance, and therefore draw designs upon this his trestle board, whereby the craft might pursue the labors. So, for all of you that don't really know much about Freemasonry, and you're pretending that you want to, go back and watch my show. Now, for all of you pretending to want to know more about Freemasonry and our quote-unquote secrets, I can also say that you might want to start, along with watching my show, you might want to start by taking the time to get familiar with a Holy Bible. It'll give you a little more of a heads up on some of the things that are covered in here, like when I say King Solomon's Temple. If you read your Bible, you might know a little bit more about that. And if you keep watching our show and you piece together this and that and the other, you can become a little more informed. Now, at the same time, keep in mind that I'm trying to give you all that you want and need, but leaving it open for you to want to go and look things up for yourself. Because that's where I think we do the most amount of discerning of information that we receive. The working tools of a Master Mason. Are you ready, boys? The working tools of a Master Mason are all the instruments of Masonry throughout your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd degree. Some places throughout the world do have more tools. than what we cover here in California. Right now I'm in New York. You get the point, dude. But they are all of them. Especially the trowel. In the United States, the trowel is especially assigned to this degree. The Master Mason uses the trowel to apply the spiritual ties that tradition demands between Masons, and to spread the cement of brotherly love towards all mankind, but especially to one's brothers in Freemasonry. Although all tools of the entered apprentice, as well as the fellow craft, are available to the Master Mason, it is the trowel which he must now primarily work, and which he has been entrusted by the worshipful Master to use wisely, as well as the Master Masons, if they've done in the past. Now, cementing brotherly love. Think of it like it's a regular trowel. You're spreading cement so you can lay down more bricks, and it's solid after all that cement dries, and you've got a wall going on, right? We're not building walls, but at the same time, you're spreading the cement. And all these people are now tied to you, bound to you, which you can think of as like a wall. And the more people you meet in Masonry, because we're brothers we've yet to meet. So if you're a Mason and you're in, let's just say, Scotland, for an example, I may not have ever met you in person, but you're my brother. And through the use of a trowel, symbolically, we will cement the brotherly love going on, because we have a bind, a tie, all of that with each other, and we know that we are worthy of be calling ourselves brothers. Whether we met each other or not, man, we know we're good to go. We can call each other a brother, and yeah, we mean it. Just as much as you would a family member with your own bloodline. That's how much we value our brothers, even the ones we've yet to meet. And it's through using a trowel that helps you become a better face to the Freemasons of walking through the door that are yet to become Freemasons. You know, like I said before, if you walk in there, you become the face of Freemasonry to these new people that are not yet Masons, and they're coming to you to learn more about it. You need to conduct yourself properly. Right? I mean, you don't want to be all acting like a bad person, and I mean, that's just going to give them a bad example, and they're going to walk away like, yeah, I probably don't want to become one of them. So, cementing the brotherly love, I mean, that works in all areas, especially with, regular people, not just our brothers. And now it says especially to brothers, which is great. But I really think it's more so for Mason to non-Mason interaction. When we say enough is enough, we still have to be better people than the crap that's coming our way from non-Masons who don't want to learn. They just want to pretend to be interested when they're not. The apron of a Master Mason. And I've shown you mine. It is lambskin. It's real. It's not fake. The manner in which a Master Mason is taught to wear his lambskin apron is symbolic of the fact that he is now considered by his brothers to be a qualified supervisor of lesser craftsmen and apprentices, with much responsibility for both the quality of the work and for the training and deportment of those below him. Like I just said, dude. More importantly, I think it's to non-Masons. We need to be a better example to non-Masons, not just our own brothers. You know what I mean? The same applies to your new method of pedal advancement, and the tokens, grips, signs, and modes of recognition conferred upon you during the ritual of the ceremonial raising from fellow craft mason to the sublime degree of master mason. It is important for the newly raised master mason to remember that his public actions and deportment may very well be those upon which the whole of Freemasonry is judged. See what I mean? So I think cementing brotherly love with your trowel, which is your main tool, working tool, as a master. I think the main thing to take away from this is it's not just cementing brotherly love amongst brother Masons, that it really is, you need to now conduct yourself properly. Not that you weren't before as an entered or fellow craft, but you really need to do so now, because people are going to be looking up to you, wanting to, to know what is Freemasonry, and coming to meet with you and the Lodge Brothers, and at that point, you're looked at as the face of Freemasonry. Though I've said before, there's no actual face of Freemasonry. Although, how do you like mine? Yeah. So, I am going to read just a touch more. I'll read this part on Hiram Abiff. We are getting a little lengthy, so I'll stop here, and then I'll know exactly where to leave off in the next, okay? The historical Hiram Abiff that is recorded in the King James Bible is our brother, as with Solomon, was a skilled artificer. I read that all wrong. Artificer. I did read it right. You ever looked at a word and you're like, whoa, what? I just did. And I can read pretty well, dude. I mean, come on. And the son of the widow of the tribe of Naphtali. Now, the early accounts of Hiram are recorded in the first King James, and that's 7:13 through 14. His coming to work on the temple at Jerusalem is mentioned in a letter written to King Solomon by Hiram, the king of Tyre, and recorded in the 2 Chronicles 2:13 through 14. The word Abiff is variously translated, but can mean his father. And the name is often explained as Hiram, my father. In a certain sense, he was regarded as the father of the workmen on the temple and their primary supervisor and chief architect of the work. Hiram, in another sense, may also be looked upon as the philosophical father of speculative masonry, whom we strive to emulate in his morality, determination of character in keeping his obligations, and his unflagging loyalty to his fellow Masons. And I'll stop there, which puts me on page 8 when I pick up again. If you, like I said, you don't really know much, but you know your Bible, read those that I've mentioned so far. Read them in the Bible. Read the whole thing. You'll gain a better perspective on things when you start to understand a bit more from different angles about this one particular subject. You can relate that in all things in life, not just Masonry. When it comes to things that we mention are also in the Bible, you know what I mean? Now, with King Solomon's temple, we all know that's supposed to be the very first real, true house of God here on earth. Learn more. Every day. But when it comes to Freemasonry, you want to learn more every day as a Mason, so that you can be the best Mason that you can possibly be. Now, I will say that being a Mason is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done for myself in my lifetime. I'm now 40 this year. I wished I had come to Masonry a whole lot sooner, but I probably wouldn't have been as worthy or whatever as I am today. So I came to it at the right time in my life, as we do with all things. If I wasn't duly and truly prepared, so spreading the cement of brotherly love, like I've said, I think it's important to do so and translate from brother to brother, but it's more so important for us to use the trowel with non-Masons, especially those that are attacking us as though they know things and pretending they want to know more than what they actually do. Those people are just nothing but hate-filled attackers and wanting to slam and gain attention, and also have someone with status reach out to them. Ooh, look, so-and-so left a comment. And then they can feel better about themselves and their crappy little lives. I think we should use our trowel for non-Masons first and foremost. When we say enough is enough, we need to conduct ourselves better. And remember, we are Master Masons. And we are obligated to be the best that we can be. As opposed to the day before when we weren't so good, we can now be a little bit better than we were that day before. I may have been a real pain in the butt yesterday, but I can be better than I was yesterday. I can do that today. I can try and be a better person and handle things better and just be the bigger person in things. So I think the trowel for me is to be used on non-Masons. Throughout my show, God bless Freemasonry. I have let all of you know that I came to Freemasonry 2014, and I began looking online and going through places like YouTube and that, and I decided my home lodge is my home lodge, but I will do the bulk of my stuff online to try and help. So that's what I'm doing. And this will be my reminder, this part 1 of the Master Mason's Candidate Guide. If nothing else, then I'll use this as a reminder not to feed into the negativity that people want to spew in our way. Because we're going to continue on our path to being a better person than we were the day before if you're a Freemason, no matter where you are in the world. But we are also going to continue on our path of doing all the various things that we do for mankind and our planet. And it doesn't matter if anyone likes it or not, because we know what we're doing is actually for the benefit of mankind and our planet. So I don't need anybody giving me all kinds of grief for it, but I'll handle myself a little bit better when that grief comes to me. So when I say enough is enough is enough for my stooping down to their level and getting as upset as a typical trashy human being. I will conduct myself as a true Master Mason and be the bigger person than the garbage that's coming our way. So I hope all of you are having a wonderful day today. When I can get a moment and it's quiet, because there's like 4 kids in the house, dude. I love them. I really do. I think they're awesome. But when it's a little more private, I'll go in and pick up where I left off and do the rest of this for you, okay? In the meantime, watch the show and go from there. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comments field for each particular video. Let me know. Hey, what you had said in, I'll just give you an example, from 13 minutes to 16 minutes of this particular video. What did you mean? You know, I mean, I can be like, oh, okay, we're talking about this video, and I'll go to that point. Okay, well, this is what I meant. So it just makes it easier. Feel free to watch all of these videos in the show, which is going to grow. Feel free to share them around. Subscribe if you'd like. I'd love it. And if you're a brother Freemason and you've yet to subscribe to this channel, shame on you. You know, dude, you should have subscribed in the beginning. But I love you anyway. Namaste, all my brothers and non-Mason alike. Have a wonderful day or evening. Take a few minutes out of your day and rock out to a video or something. You know what I mean? Your favorite song. Because if it makes you feel good, do it. And poor is the man whose pleasures depend upon the permission of others. God bless Freemasonry.